Alright, she's recording.
Is she recording?
Yeah. Hi. This is how we start setting up for the episodes. We clear off the dining room table.
That's right. We turn up the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Because we're all the cool we need. And Ahsoka attacks me so that we can play fetch.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the ball. 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 Ah. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. What? Well,
Both of you.
Well, clearing
It's recording.
our instrument.
that's right. Seashells. No, she sells seashells by the seashore.
Fired. Fired.
How much wood could a woodchuck...
Red leather, yellow leather.
How much
Red
wood
leather,
could a
yellow
woodchuck...
leather?
Yeah, it's another thing.
Damn it! How much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
If a woodchuck could chuck wood, as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
I'm going to sleep. Oh, goodness.
She was showing off her spin attack. Oh, that's not good. No! And the other one.
No toques.
Remember when we used to write no toka on stuff that we didn't want Jose to touch?
Oh, God.
What? Who?
We used to write quite racially. Big
No, no.
This
To,
is a reminder. Inversion
Jose
guarantee.
that we used to work with at Midtown.
Uh-huh.
So when we didn't want him to touch certain things, we would write no toka, like
No toque.
N-O space T-O-C-A,
Inversion guarantee.
no toka.
Not bad.
The thing that made it worse is Esteban was the one who started this policy.
Then it's okay. It's not racist.
It is, in fact, it's worse because Esteban was the one who started it. No toka.
At least you know it's grammatically correct. Or it could be no toques, I guess. Can't spell that though. One day, y'all will help me do this.
Well, you told me not to touch.
You right.
I did help.
You
Turned
cooked
it
dinner.
up to my face.
At 7, you're so much more efficient at this.
At 7?
In 7, you're 7. You're so much more efficient at this.
Oh, am I?
Yes. It's your search for perfection.
I'm not even wrong.
DJ!
What? I don't have a DJ name. You guys are an asshole.
What?
Are you DJ No Toka?
Yes, probably.
DJ No Toka! Coming to you live from everywhere else.
You got the mic.
Yeah.
I got it.
I'm missing a tripod.
Toby.
A teapot?
A part of the try?
Why? Does all 3 of us have one?
Hmm?
All 3 of us have
No, I mean a tripod for my camera. Oh, I know where I put it. Derp.
Oh.
Where is it?
In that box I just made yesterday.
Oh, separate things?
Can you turn off the
Refrigerator.
please and thanks?
Your refrigeratrix. Were you guys looking at my butt the whole time?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Unless you enjoyed it, then you're welcome.
You could donate to Dennis's dance career at.
Soka.
Soka.
Where's Toby? Toby's tired of us already.
He's chilling in the living room.
He likes to assert his individuality.
Okay.
As soon as we all sit down, he'll come in here,
Oh, okay.
fall asleep on your lap again. Probably.
Aw. You're destroying the equipment.
That's my goal.
To destroy the equipment.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my spit guard now.
Guard of the spit.
I wonder if the avocado I just ate is now fighting the fish oil I took.
Do they do that?
I don't know. I think the fish oil has a thing of its own. It wants to regurgitate itself. Just come back up and say hi.
Sounds friendly.
Now, the flaxseed oil, that does another thing. That we don't ever want to see again.
No?
No. Because it has a chemical in the stomach.
No?
It only takes the exit. Yeah, so dialysis has this thing where it might cause constipation.
Ah.
So I was just like, instead of taking another ridiculous pill that they want to give you for everything, which is why I don't talk to my doctor as much, because the first thing they want to do is put you on some kind of pill with 3 more side effects that you need to counteract with other medications they want to give you. So instead, I just went the kind of holistic route and was like, what if I just looked up something that would, help me be less of a problem as far as my digestion goes. So I looked that up and it was flaxseed oil
Yeah?
tablets, and that helped.
Hmm.
And
I just bought a flaxseed based in milk.
that too. But I gotta control my liquid intake.
Mm-hmm.
So try to stay away from drinks. Because I'm not supposed to have any more than 32 ounces of liquid all day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is very difficult.
I can imagine, yeah. I, on the other hand, am trying to...
Increase your liquids?
Yes.
Okay. All that remains is power. And then it's this thing.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Nothing's on yet.
That doesn't mean I can't say it. Esteban's gonna sing to open up the podcast today.
Don't you fucking start.
How am I supposed to sing if I haven't cleared my...
That's right. Gotta warm up his instrument.
I hate all of you.
You're being very negative.
I'm okay with that. Do you want your other clear alcoholic liquid beverage?
Yes, por favor.
Preferably the one with lemon. It'll help us both.
We don't have that.
We don't have that.
We don't have that.
But it's on the menu.
We don't have that.
But you didn't have it last week either. Why didn't you make more?
You didn't come on time.
You
when
just
we
opened.
had it, you weren't here, and
You
now
just opened.
what?
You just opened.
What, sir?
All things people have said to West Indian restaurant owners or.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You just opened?
Yes. You just opened. What do you mean you don't have that?
We don't have it. We haven't made it yet.
So I come back later, it'll be made, and can I put an order in for it?
You can't.
No, we don't work like that. And we don't have that.
We don't have that. This extra headphone can go back there. This tool.
The worst time to learn these facts is when you're on lunch and you just want to eat something quickly.
Definitely not.
And so it's like, yeah, I don't feel like trying to eat. I don't feel like pizza. I'll go to this West Indian restaurant. And then you wait for somebody to get to the counter because they're never at the counter.
And
as soon as you
it's not on yet.
as soon as you think of like the thing you want and you're ready to order and they come out finally,
Oh, wait a minute.
there's some sort of buzzing.
I hear a Dennis.
There's a buzzing.
Can you hear
I don't
me?
know if I'm in the right thing or if that's a thing that you have to worry about.
Can you hear me, Dennis?
I only in the natural, not in the vocal. What? I'm close enough to the mic. I can't hear myself.
No?
Am I connected? I can hear us fine now.
It's not unusual.
Told you would say. This is the Wires podcast. We hook up wires and talk to people.
Basically. It's like Frankenstein over here. But it gets the job done, so.
Turn off Alexa.
Oh, yeah, you
Or she's
gotta
gonna
make sure
remind us of stuff.
she's not gonna tell us things.
That's right. You've got to dig the crust out of Toby's eyeballs in 5 minutes.
Boils? Eye boils?
Eyeballs.
Oh, shit.
boils.
That's right.
Y'all's phones is on silent or whatever?
My phone is in the other room.
Dennis,
So.
I'll kill you.
What? I seriously not in the room. And it's behind the Sarah barrier, so we should be fine, right?
The Sarah barrier?
The Sarah barrier. I can't speak. It's all the vegetables you gave
Saruman.
me. I only speak well when I have meat, and you only gave me chicken.
What you mean?
I need dirty meats.
So backwards and meta.
What do you mean?
Because that thing is recording and you took a photo of it recording you
That's right.
taking a photo.
That's right.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you
I feel
hear
like
me?
I'm soft.
I can hear you.
Fact.
I can only hear us the one. And me. Because we're talking.
Fact.
Now I
There
can
you
hear
go.
There I am. Hello.
Hello.
Old Books Podcast.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
You
I thought
read
it was-
old books?
It's the Wires podcast.
We talk about them.
We hook up wires and we talk to them.
Yes,
Yes.
that is aliens.
I hear something.
Aliens are
Yeah.
communicating with us.
Oh.
That's interesting. Why does that happen?
Because this fucking headphone block thing is a piece of shit. That's why.
But
And
it's
because
been-
we're like the Wires podcast.
Now, if they were sponsoring us, we would say it wasn't.
No, I'd still say it's a piece of shit headphone jack.
Not if they repaid us.
No, that's not how I work.
What?
Well,
You have integrity?
Yeah,
What are you,
I
American?
absolutely
You're
do.
obviously not American. You have to leave.
you're right. I am not. Well, I am, I guess.
Integrity.
I was born in Jersey, so.
Jersey.
Really? I didn't know that.
You didn't know I was born in
Ugh.
Jersey? Jersey City.
Jersey.
Yep.
Ugh.
That's what I tell everybody. She was actually born in Havana. Oh, hello.
I'm trying to make it so that it's
Hello.
there where you relax into. So that you.
Hi.
That's better.
Is this okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Stop that.
What? Trying to get as close to the mic as
Stop
possible.
just being weird. Stop that.
Da-da,
what you
da-da,
mean.
Dennis!
I
da-da,
don't know
da-da.
what you mean.
How? You have to edit that. How far did you get? I'm very curious to know.
That's the way you told me to stop.
You got to the
Yeah.
narrator?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, this is gonna be exciting.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because there's a whole couple chapters with some crazy fanatical lady.
It's alright. It was alright.
Well,
Okay. Whoa.
okay.
Episode... Who knows what? The Moonstone Part 2. Basically kind of like the middle of the book.
Yeah.
And, alright, so go ahead.
So at this part, what happened was...
What happened was...
we go to the moon, and we get a rock, and they polish it up, and apparently it's a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
The end.
So, we got the last couple of chapters of Bettridge.
Yeah, I don't like these people's names.
No?
I don't like their names.
Why not?
They just bother me.
Hey,
Well, we got the end of his story,
Yes.
which was basically the Sergeant Cuff telling him exactly what's going to happen. He's like, well, I'm leaving now, but you're going to hear about this guy's name.
Yeah.
He a crooked man
Mhm.
who people sell things to him. You're going to hear about them
That's a dog.
drinking water.
One
Yes.
of yours, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You hear about them Indians again.
Mhm.
And what was the third thing he told me?
You're gonna hear about the Indians. You're gonna hear about
London.
well, because it all comes back to London. He was
Yes.
saying he's like you're gonna hear about the Indians in London when she gets to London, meaning Miss Verinder,
Yes.
and then
Relative.
Lady Verinder, and
Yeah, I don't like her
then
name.
they said, I think one of the things is that we would definitely hear about the Moonstone again itself before long.
Yep.
I don't remember if those are the three things. Was
That
there
was the
another
three
one?
things.
That makes sense. Okay. So after that we basically get the point of view from two very opposite human beings. One is her cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's her name?
Oops.
She yelled at us about our
I
phone
know.
status.
I thought it was dead.
Accuse us while somebody
Shut up. No one asked for your opinion.
who's irresponsible gets to put their
Yeah,
phone
yeah,
on
yeah.
vibrate.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes. That helped me remember.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Clack.
Clack?
Clack.
Was that her name?
Clack, yeah.
Ah. Can we talk about the dead girl? I mean, yeah, say what you're gonna say first, but I want to talk about the dead girl.
Yeah, I
What
forgot
dead
about
girl?
the dead girl, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that killed herself. Supposedly.
Supposedly.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to
Did-
her.
We know she dead.
No, we
There's no
don't.
body.
Yes, we do.
There's no body. There's some
Oh.
blood though.
Oh, so we don't know people dead because we don't see them no more, and people say they dead.
Yes.
Correct.
Do you think she threw herself in the water, or she threw herself into quicksand, or she faked her death so she could get away?
Well, into the water would be hard to find her body.
Right.
The quicksand, where I think it's the fisherman who says it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever goes in is gone
That's
forever.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which I didn't,
That's
I
the way
didn't know.
That's the way quicksand works.
Well, no, apparently not, because the detective asked if it ever spit anything back out, which means there are quicksand pits that'll sometimes like regurgitate a thing.
Not in cartoons.
Be like, this ain't
This ain't
good.
a cartoon. Yeah, right. This is like the Looney Tunes where you get like a sneaker
That's right.
left over.
Totally forgot about that girl. Mostly because I don't think her character's believable.
Why?
Because she, like, sees this guy for, like, 30 seconds, and then she's in love with him.
That's every book ever written and during that time is love at
Exactly.
first sight. It's like,
Exactly.
I knew from the moment I first laid eyes on you that you were the only one for me. That's like
That's right.
cliche.
That's the upstairs downstairs kind of thing. It's like he's upstairs, I'm downstairs. So while I'm cleaning his stuff, he's upstairs being wonderful. And someday in some other place,
You'll notice me.
he'll notice me. You know, he'll take me away from my poor life and give
Look
me
at Watson. At the full moment he laid eyes on her, he was
knock
just
me
like,
up and make me a lady. That's right.
Right. But this is also the book where we have Bettridge talking about, like, you know what? I live in this house, and I don't want to pay this lady any more rent, so I'm going to marry her.
well, Bettridge is a
Bam!
smart man. He's a smart. He knows how to save his dollars.
Exactly.
And then after saving all these dollars, he goes on to say, but like, this woman was always in my way. I'm trying to go upstairs, and she gonna come down the stairs. I'm trying to come downstairs, and she trying to come up the stairs.
And that's the natural
That's
position of a woman, is
That's
to
right.
always be in
She's
your
used to being
way.
downstairs, so every time she go upstairs, she like, I better go downstairs.
shit, she's coming. Let me
That's
leave.
right.
So to me it was like, all right, so, and then the way they set up her character, it's like, she was an ugly creature.
Yeah.
Not only was she an ugly creature, she was also
Mischievous.
an ex-criminal.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I was like, does that make sense to me?
Of course it does.
No, because here's why.
Oh, I know. what
You
you're
explain
talking
why.
So
That's
for instance, if you think about Sherlock,
Uh-huh.
the one woman he respects, this intelligent woman, she's also always described as beautiful and
Mhm.
you know, breathtaking. That's why she can get away with shit.
Mhm.
Because men can't see that shit coming.
Uh-huh.
But if you have a woman that's described basically as a troll,
Mhm.
be like,
Oh, well, the way I pictured her, because the way that they were talking about her shoulder reminded me of the main actress from the new Witcher show.
in the beginning,
And that's
yeah,
what that reminds me of.
she's a hunchback.
Yeah,
she's
I've
got-
seen the show. I have to watch it again because I watched it like just before bed, so
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it went over my head.
So like,
Onto the pillow.
it's especially the way, you know, these guys seem to describe and deal with women in this time. If the ugly lady was rummaging through your shit, you notice, like, what you doing over there?
Okay, I have an opinion on this, as I do most things.
Okay, please.
Go ahead.
Ugly women are definitely criminals because they can't get anybody to buy them anything. It's like the reason why this lady has a wonderful benefactor.
Excuse me.
What?
Don't be knocking into the mic.
I'm
Don't
not
break
whatever
that
I
shit.
want.
You break, you buy.
You keep talking to me like that, I'm gonna think you're an ugly woman.
I would be lucky.
That
means I could get away with shit.
I believe it was the eminent scholar Al Bundy who said ugly women are like men; they have to work. Or it might have been someone else, but it was someone like that.
I think it was Al Bundy.
Yeah, that sounds like an Al Bundy thing. You just dated everyone in this room. guys.
I'm fine with that. It's back when Fox was not thought of what it is today.
Fair. That's fair.
But I find that to be true too. Like the girls who work hardest, or women who worked hardest when you work with them, are the ugly women, or the women who think of themselves as ugly. Most of them are not ugly; they're fine. They're perfectly fine. Whereas the girls who think of themselves as pretty, who are somewhere primping. And grooming themselves in public, which is disgusting.
What you mean?
Don't comb your hair in public. Why are you
Why
touching?
not?
Don't touch it. Why are you touching your hair? Stop touching your hair.
All right,
We're
fine.
in
I'll just clip my nails.
We're in food service. Stop touching your hair. Go wash your hands.
No.
And don't look into the mirror too long.
Coronavirus.
All right. But it literally like people who don't think of themselves as a good looking generally just work harder. We know that. We used to work in a warehouse.
Yeah.
We carried stuff.
Yeah, but even the women that worked in the warehouse were pretty.
If we thought we were better looking, and you should have, I definitely should have. We
Why
would be.
should you?
Huh?
What?
Handsome, a handsome man.
Is he?
Yes.
Birdie.
I can't. Oh yeah, that's right. We were all out drinking one night, and some drunk woman told him he was pretty.
Yes.
So pretty.
Yeah, like, oh, get her in her cab. She done.
Yep. But generally, if you think you know,
And that drunk woman was not me.
sure it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Sure it wasn't.
Was it?
Nope.
No.
You think he's pretty?
Yeah.
Stealing my line. Anyway, ugly people think they should work harder because they have to make it. They're trying to survive.
Yeah.
And they know they can't do it on their looks.
Right.
So.
That's true. I mean, I see the point. I don't know that it's. There's no way to get out of this. I guess it's.
Nope. Nope, because it's just true. It's true. Pretty people are lazy because they think they can get away with it.
I wouldn't say pretty people are lazy. I would say highly conceited people are lazy.
And why would you be highly conceited?
There are some ugly people who think they're God's gift to the earth.
Okay, but
This is true.
they know different because they may not believe it, but they know different because they're working.
But in a way, even that level of self-maintenance and posturing is work. So even those people are working.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the same kind of grueling labor that the ugly folk gotta
they
do.
just don't believe third party accounts of their life. It's
Well,
like
whatever.
you see this, that's you here because you ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody says that to them because they haven't met me yet.
To the back of the line.
That's
Anyway,
That's right.
So she kills herself because she's a thing, but you
I'm
were
gonna tell
saying
you a
that you
story
don't
later.
think it's true.
I don't know. I'm of that sound belief of like, they dead? Where the body? Show me the body. No body? Then she hiding behind them trees. Who checked behind the trees? Nobody? She over there.
Do you? Okay, so do you think that the detective believes she's still alive, or do you think
See-
he thinks she's dead because they found blood?
I think he's that sly old guy
Mm-hmm.
that will not tell you what he thinks
Right.
until he can prove it completely.
Right.
That's right.
So he'll look
He's
you in the
working
face.
hypothesis.
He'll look you in the face like, I don't know what's happening.
Uh-huh.
What? Yeah, I don't know what's happening. But you wrote something down. That's nice, but I don't know what's happening. Now, if he's sure of something, like when he's arguing with the gardener about the rose,
That's right.
he will
That
punch you
has
in
an
the...
ulterior motive. That must have a reason for that.
Because it won't grow if you bud it.
He's telling you that.
That's right.
Yes.
He's very serious about growing roses.
That's
I
right.
know that, but I feel like there's an alternative reason for him to be having that argument at all with that guy. I'm curious to know why he's bothering the gardener so much.
Because he's a grass salesman.
Yes.
He doesn't like gravel because it takes the place of grass. He wants you to buy some grass from him.
No.
Or, because of the business he usually takes in, he's having a good old time talking about something he actually likes.
That's right.
I guess. I don't know.
It's a release.
My mind was like, I don't know, I'm so used to these kind of Sherlockian stories that anytime I hear something that sounds frivolous or extraneous or like besides the point, I pin it in my head. I'm like, why is he doing this? Why is he having that conversation? Why did he knock that over? Why did he engage? Like, what's the reason behind this seemingly pointless thing to do?
Yeah, I do that with movies.
Yeah.
Like, why is there a 5-minute shot of this can?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What the can got to do with it?
Yeah. This is.
I don't think he's as eccentric as Sherlock.
I don't either.
Does
But
he
I
have
still
does he have a
pinned it
mind
anyway.
palace?
No,
Where he grows his roses?
No.
I don't think so. For instance, like with a lot of those things with Sherlock, he goes about these weird little things in a way that only he can understand until he reveals it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Where what I get from this guy is he's trying to build those cases and then he'll reveal things. And I honestly think like when he's not having to deal with the case, he's just dealing with roses.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't like people saying things that are wrong about roses.
Okay.
What
I have a
particular-
challenge for the Sherlock comic, but we'll do that later because this isn't about Sherlock.
Why not?
Because it's not about Sherlock.
Why don't we read some? I never
We
read
can.
Sherlock.
Oh.
We can.
Oh, we will.
Well, we all know what the next book is.
What?
Robinson Crusoe.
Yes.
Is it gonna be?
I think it
I
has
think it
to
has
be.
to be.
Okay, fine.
It's an old book.
Is it available?
I haven't checked,
We
but
have
I'm
to check.
sure
No,
it
I guess
probably is.
We'll check.
Okay.
We'll check before I leave tonight.
Okay.
But like we can't move on to another book and just like leave Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah, I was also thinking for another book we should do relatively soon is the other book featuring our favorite captain. Cause
Ahab.
Nemo.
Nemo.
Oh, that
There's
is our
another
favorite
book-
captain. I didn't like Ahab.
There's another book with Nemo.
Wow.
I don't know if it'll be as long and meandering, but.
But before we get into that,
Yes.
let's talk about our 2 stars of the of this portion of the book.
The dead girl.
No,
No.
Dead Girl's dead.
Dead girl's dead. She's over.
Miss Clack
Miss Clack.
and the lawyer. What the hell was his name?
Bluff, something like that.
I'm bad at names.
I'll look up his name. But who would like to start on Miss Clack?
Refresh my memory. Who she is.
She's the woman that's extremely religious.
Ah, yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, we finished off this guy's narrative and we go into Miss Clack. In the first, I think, chapter or 2 of hers, I was ready to throw in the towel. I'm like not an extremely religious person, and I'm tolerant of other people who partake in religions, and
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
don't. For that.
I think they're really fascinating,
Mhm.
but when you start to like talk about it to excess, it turns me off. And so it got to the point where I was literally talking to Esteban. I was like, can I just fucking skip this? And then you can tell me what it's about and let me know what I missed, because, what?
Matthew Bruff.
Yeah, Bluff. I was close, I said Bluff. And so he was further ahead in the book than I was, and he pats me on the arm, and he's like, no, you should keep listening because there's some parts you're gonna enjoy. And I was like, okay, fine, fuck. So then we get into the whole story, and her narrative, and that shit was really funny. So I don't even know how to start this.
So.
Well, you start this.
So she's like, there's people who are religious.
Yes.
Then there's people who are religious who feel they have to save everyone around them.
Yes.
And
She's supposed to.
she's that person.
Yeah.
She wants to and believes she has to save everyone.
Yes. For those of you who are not familiar, the Bible commands you that you do that.
But there are different ways to do it.
Oh, true.
For example, another version of her is, what's the name of this woman from The Expanse? The priest.
Oh, Anna.
Also extremely devout,
Mm-hmm.
and like religion is like the motivation behind everything she does.
Mm-hmm.
But when she's sitting down and talking to you, she's not talking about God in the same way that Clark does.
She's not preaching. She's conversating.
Yeah.
Ah.
Where this woman is preaching.
Mm.
She's telling you what you're doing wrong.
Ah.
Because that's...
She had some balls to sit there and tell Verinder that her mom passed away in sin, basically.
Right. Because I think...
Truth is true.
She's...
Whoa. This one is not recording.
Why not?
Maybe
What'd you do?
Maybe I didn't hit record. Or maybe it just stopped recording.
Maybe you're just bad at your job.
That's not nice.
Is the memory card full?
I don't know. Doesn't look like it's full.
I mean, the other one's still, the
Yeah, I mean,
video's
that's
still
recording and this is recording.
Yeah.
So if anything, the first
Stop the
few
phone.
minutes will be.
We alright.
All right, keep going.
Stop.
So, everything she does, she does it from a point of view where something that, if you really pay attention to the Bible, you're not supposed to do. She's judging everybody.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to help them see things.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to judge them. But she's judging the shit.
It doesn't say don't judge people. It just says judge not lest ye be judged.
Right.
Meaning like, if you decide to judge people, you're going to be judged on that too.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going full blast.
Mm-hmm.
And she's giving out these pamphlets.
The cab driver?
Oh, the tracts, yeah.
The tracts, yes.
Tract. What is a tract, do you know?
So it's these small little booklets that sometimes they tell stories, sometimes they're just, scriptures in a little booklet.
Okay.
And you pass them out to people who may not, be aware of the Bible as if it's not the, most popular book everywhere.
Because I'm thinking about the cab driver where she gives the cab driver...
She doesn't give it to him. She throws it in the
No,
cab.
no, but she gives him the fare to the cent.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets mad because she didn't give him a gratuity, and so she fucking throws a tract at him because he started cursing. Yeah, that shit had me laughing. I was getting off the train, I was laughing.
She
I'm
tried...
that dude. I'm not the track dude, but I'm the guy who gives you, like, what does the meter say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, $5.59?
Mm-hmm.
Take these pennies.
No.
And keep it moving.
No, gratuity.
I'm grateful that I'm getting out this cab. Thank you. Here's your money. You earned your wages.
Oh.
You want a better job? Move to Denmark.
Oh.
There you go.
That's far. Anyway.
It's probably a better place, too.
Exactly.
So, everything she does it
Nope.
in this...
No gratuity.
In this kind of little judgy way. So,
So
for instance,
Please
when
do.
when she meets Bettridge's daughter, who's the main maid for the younger Lady Verinder,
Yes.
she gives her a tract about not dressing like a harlot because she has bows in her hair.
That's right.
How does bows in your hair make you a harlot?
I don't know.
Because you're attracting attention to yourself.
Religious fanatics have a thing with hair. Like apparently it's like
hair and religion is a thing.
Yeah,
in
it's
general.
like
Samson.
I've never apparently no one's seen a bald woman that they were attracted to in these days.
Yeah, well.
Or nobody's like, oh, look at that scalp. I guess. But I guess if you got some hair, it's like whore.
Yes. Well, not only if it's hair, if it's got bows in it.
Oh my God.
Bows.
Blasphemy.
You drawing men's attraction to your hair? How dare you?
So the entire time, she's like judging everybody.
Mm-hmm.
She's breaking them down. But then, Mr. Godfrey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mr. Godfrey. Frankly, she sounded like quite the sinner when she talks about him.
Yes.
Be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he's such a good man, and the way he speaks, and and you're like,
And I didn't
whoa.
realize I was sitting. I don't remember when I took a seat, but there he was with my hand in his.
You're like, whoa, is this the same lady talking?
Oh my god.
I really want to meet this gentleman in person
Well,
with his mustachios.
everything about him is as everyone who speaks of him who doesn't know him. I forget what his first name is, but he is the greatest thing to ever be presented to humankind.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bettridge was like, anytime he speaks, it was like magic. That remember in Bettridge's thing, his lady took him to London and took him to 2 shows. One was a cabaret with dancing ladies,
Yes.
and one was Godfrey talking. And he found Godfrey talking more exciting than the ladies dancing. It's like,
Well, all their hair was covered up.
Oh, boy.
and it's like, wow, like, why does everyone love this guy? And then the more you hear about him, you're like, he's that guy.
Yeah.
Like he's part of every little association that does things for people, but only
Only the women.
associations that are about women.
Mhm.
Are you thinking that this gentleman is he trying to like profile these women and like groom them for
No,
something
he's just
untoward?
a well-meaning human
I'm
who
sure
happens
he
to
is.
be very handsome and
Yes.
and has like stacked all his like all his points in the charisma,
Yes.
maximum like
If he's
charisma
a handsome
points.
person, he can't be bad. Only ugly people do bad things.
You right.
Right. I mean, the way they described Franklin Blake when he first got it, it's like, oh, look at this fat guy. With a beard. You're like, damn.
Fat people are jolly.
He didn't describe him as jolly. He described him as red-faced.
Well, that's why you know he's jolly. He's
Yeah.
red about the
He's
cheeks.
very happy.
That's right.
So what did you think about the whole piece where she's running around hiding her premium books all over Lady Varender's house, in her bathrobe pocket, and here and in there?
I love that it was super well thought out.
Yes. Yeah.
Like if you're gonna be that obnoxious, at least be cunning about it.
Yeah.
Where she's like, oh, she likes these flowers, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna hide it between each flower vase. So when she comes to look at her flowers, bam, book. Oh, I know she likes to smoke while she's in bed, but I also know she takes a chocolate every night as well. So I'll put one book by her cigarettes, and one book by her chocolates. No matter which habit she goes for, bam, book. And I'm like, damn, she's good. She's good.
And then the way that the what was it, the footman dropped off the books,
Oh,
and he
that
was
was
like repulsed by the box.
well, I felt bad for that guy because he had to be that guy.
Because his job is literally he's a footman.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if I go to deliver a message, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But someone went to him and be like, "Yo, check this out. This crazy lady just hid all these books throughout the house, and they probably already. She has a
She
reputation.
probably found like 1 or 2, and sent him to find the rest.
Be like, we need you to go to her house with all 12 of her books
Yeah.
and give them back. What do I say? Give her back the books.
All right. Also, it's worth mentioning because I think this is probably one of the rarest books we've done on the show. I think the fewest amount of people will have read this book over any of the others. So at this point in the book, Lady Varender, who's the mother of the young girl who was gifted the Moonstone that we talked about in the last episode, she's become deathly ill over some heart condition which apparently had been running through her system for years undetected, and now it's just kind of like it's caught up with her very quickly, and she's very, very ill. And so she's just confessed or confided in her aunt, which is Cliff, who happens to be the narrator of this section of the book, that she's dying, and that she had asked her cousin, this lady, to be present for her will.
Yeah.
And so this lady's first reaction to finding out that her aunt is about to die
Is trying to save her soul.
is trying to save her soul by planting all these books everywhere after being very kindly told, oh, and that's the other thing, but told no by the aunt. Her like never ending like just like absolute opinion of doctors and how
Mhm.
she's like the doctors are just heathens essentially that are just like completely misinformed and doing the wrong thing, and that's why everyone's dying because they keep going to the doctors and not getting clergymen. I'm just like, really?
Well, I think she has that opinion of anything professional that doesn't line up with the church.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember her reaction to the lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This heathen.
Mhm.
And of course, him being a lawyer, there's nothing that he likes more than getting into an argument.
Oh yeah.
Because when they start going at it, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
it's going back and forth. She put up a fair fight.
Yeah, she did.
She to the point where he's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
or he was shocked for a moment, like, oh, okay, and then she fell for it. He's like, so how do you know this?
Dun,
And
dun, dun.
then she remembered, oh, I wasn't supposed to say any of that.
Uh-huh. Because she was
Sneaky
sneaky. What was she doing there? She was dropping off more pamphlets around the house? Because it's the second time. No. Because she drops off the books, and then she drops off handwritten notes
yes.
all over the house.
That she went and got her lady friends to write as well,
Right.
so it doesn't look like she's the only one doing this.
Right.
Oh.
So the books got returned to her in the box. The horrified footman is like essentially dropped off the equivalent of like TNT. He drops it off, he runs away. So she determines she has herself and all her friends write out handwritten excerpts from the books. And then she mails half of them
And delivers half of them.
through their postal, and then runs around the house delivering them the same way. Where it's like I like the one that she dropped on the floor.
Right.
Because she's like, well, the butler will think that she had this on her and she dropped it, so naturally he'll deliver this one to her person. Oh, so fucking funny. And then this one is because she got there and she found the stack of them unread. And so she's looking around and she's like, okay, well, what can I do? And she's like, if I leave this one separate from the rest of them, it'll draw her curiosity. And so she leaves one on the fireplace.
So at one point she's hiding while doing this, and the young Lady Verinder is in a room, and she meets with Godfrey, who basically
Warms my soul.
who basically asks her to marry him. And she tells him, bro, I don't love you. I will probably never love you. And this motherfucker's like, that's fine. I just need you to be my wife.
Ah, yes. Here's a question for you. And then for you.
Oh.
But you both, I perceive you both have very different opinions of love and how to be loved. If you actually loved someone that much, how do you feel about what he told her? Given the time and the way that things were typically set up back then. Because I listened to it and I was like, actually, dude makes a very fair point.
If they were part of a society that still practiced arranged marriages,
Mm-hmm.
I would say he makes 110% sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a lot of the stories you hear out of these arranged marriages, where it's like, they never even, a lot of times, never even met before the day of the marriage.
Right.
But through time, through working together, through being together, they developed into this kind of cohesion that they felt was similar to love,
Mm-hmm.
where they were one unit.
Right.
But what he was saying, see that's where it's like,
So what was it?
because where he came at it was like, he's like, I know you have like these things for somebody else and you don't love me, but I fully adore you, and just having you in my, I was like, I don't know about that, bro.
You don't think so?
Because he's like,
Is it him that you're skeptical of, or his ideal?
him.
Okay.
And of course my skepticism, we'll talk about it in a moment,
Mm-hmm.
it is rewarded
Right.
later.
Right.
But Dennis,
What did you think, Dennis?
I think that if I was in a similar situation, like I was part of this society that thought of women as more property
Mm-hmm.
than and weren't really into romantic love, I would totally take on a good-looking woman who could be my wife, who could be my better. As
Right.
far as like, especially if you're marrying up, like if she's got money, like a good dowry, or like something like that, or like her dad is like loaded, and about to kick the bucket.
Right.
Sure, let's do this.
Right. But his whole thing was,
Uh-huh.
I know you don't love me.
Yes.
Because you're in love with someone else,
Yes.
but. I think he says like you'll never have the man you want or something to that
Right.
effect.
He's like,
Exactly.
rather than live in misery, just live in.
Why would you settle? You're gonna have to get married.
Exactly.
Why not marry me because I adore you? Why would you not marry me and then go off and marry some other man who may not adore you the way that I do?
Let's
And
be
so,
honest. It's better to settle for me than
uh-huh.
to wait for some other dude.
Right.
As the older you get,
Mhm.
the uglier you're gonna get.
Right. Well,
It's not gonna work out for you.
I mean, if she
You're a
didn't
woman.
marry him, she would have
I'm a
married very
dude.
soon to someone
The
else.
system is based on me making myself better
Mhm.
and being a productive member of society, which means knocking
Wait,
you
he's
up.
already a productive member of society.
No,
Watch
no,
all
no.
the ladies, the small clothes and the some whatever
No, no,
small
no, no.
thoughts and.
This is the way this works. We're rich white people.
Uh-huh.
You gotta marry a dude,
Uh-huh.
and I gotta be married.
Mhm.
So let's get this together. We'll sign some papers. I'll knock you up. You'll make some kids. I'll be better.
Uh-huh.
You'll be here.
Yeah. Let's
keep it moving. Let's not kid ourselves into thinking that things are gonna work out the way we want them to work out. So marry me because I'm asking,
Mhm.
and you'll be all right.
I
got
heard that
stuff.
whole thing.
I got stuff. You want stuff. That's all I'm saying. I don't mean that stuff. I meant
No. I heard the whole thing, and in my head I'm like, that's a very fair point. If it hadn't been like, because I was also like, ulterior motives. Like, how do you have this guy that just all of a sudden denounces all of his like charities and everything? That
Right.
Because that's the thing for me. It's like, you can have both. You can keep your charities, which makes you part of who you are, and essentially makes you a better person. Denouncing them almost makes me want you less. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is just like, whoa, buddy. Like, no.
Well, marriage is the charity. He's gonna spend all his money,
No.
and if he's interested in making women better, he's making one woman better.
Oh, goodness.
He's chosen one woman.
No.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's how you work.
I was just curious to know what your take was on it.
So yeah, it just sounded weird.
Mm-hmm.
And also like Dennis kept mentioning, knock her up and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Remember, he told her, "You take your time."
Yeah.
Again, that's weird for that time,
Mhm.
because they wanted to start popping kids
Yeah.
as soon as possible.
Oh.
Because
So you think she's his beard?
What?
Beard. It's a phrase that means marrying someone to appear as if you were heterosexual, but you're actually not.
Have you heard of this phrase before?
I haven't.
No.
No.
It's very
His
interesting.
beard?
It's a beard.
To
yeah.
make him seem more
So
manly?
it's like to make you
Right.
seem more manly, you would grow a beard. In the case of a gay man who's pretending to still be in the
heterosexual.
closet, or
Yeah.
to actually be
Yeah.
to polite society.
He would marry a woman.
He would marry a woman who seemed very desirable, very attainable.
Yo, my mind is just blown. I've never heard of
You
that
never
shit
heard that?
before. No. That's crazy.
So yeah, like everything he said to her was like,
You need more gay friends.
Yeah, I don't have that many.
It's like everything he says like, nah. Now you high society, homie? No. Now that don't float. Of course, the narrative after Miss Clack is Mr. Bruff, the lawyer, and he finds out because he is the lawyer for Lady Veranda.
Yes.
He wrote her will.
Yep.
And if someone goes to read her will, he finds out who did it.
Yep.
And it turns out Mr. Gottfried read that will.
Right.
So he's like, "Oh, you sneaky money
A
grubbing
sneaky,
piece of
sneaky.
shit."
A lot of people, I guess it was a common practice to keep your will secret back then.
I don't know that it was common practice. I think it was... I think the opposite. I think most people had a will. It was less common for anyone else to investigate it.
Right, because what he said is that the guy sent another lawyer to read it. it was open to be read.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
that was
So-
part of the thing. Like, oh, you have to pay X amount, and you can read anybody's will. That's like
Oh.
New York State. It was like not
Yeah, it
New York,
was-
but like that was their state law.
It was available.
That's crazy.
So for him it was like, because no one usually did it because it's like who needs to read this?
Mm-hmm.
But then suddenly someone came over and read it. He's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Who? And remember, he had to basically coerce the other lawyer. He's like, like, you know how I give you jobs? You tell me the name of that
Right.
guy, or you ain't gonna have no jobs.
Right.
The guy's like, yeah, nah, it's that Godfrey dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the tall one, real
But
pretty.
also, that's an interesting threat too, because he didn't have to tell anybody that he told him.
Well, no. Like he admitted like he was wrong making the threat.
No, I mean the other guy. Like they could have, because they'd been colleagues for a long time. They didn't have to. Neither of them were obligated to tell Godfrey that they'd shared anything. They could have been like, "Yo, between you and me."
Well,
Who's that
no.
Godfrey dude?
He states the guy's that because I think the guy was gonna tell him
Mm-hmm.
just as long as like he didn't do anything about it. But he said he's like, oh no, I'm making you no promises depending on who it is.
Right.
Be like, I'm gonna go in
Mm-hmm.
because besides Veranders being his clients, they're
Right.
his friends.
Right. Because
So-
he'd been with them for a while.
Right. So he fully intended to protect him no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I have to pee. So I'm gonna.
So are you pausing?
Yeah.
So are you coughing and then pausing in the middle of the podcast? This is a no-no.
I know.
And then the phone too.
And then the phone on top of that.
It's okay. It's okay.
And there are no pups here. This is a bad
I also have to
podcast.
check my plants.
Oh no, there's a pup here.
Oh.
She asleep.
No, she's asleep? Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Toby's eyeballing around.
Let's see.
I definitely could settle for a woman with money.
I mean, money.
Not an ugly woman. Because then she would need more money.
Drusilla Clack.
Yeah, those kind of hard names.
Damn. She had that heavy ugly name.
Name some other names that you think kind of notate ugliness in a woman.
Broomhilda.
Yeah, Brunhilde. Bertha is one of them.
Oof, Bertha.
Those kind of old names always make me feel like, oh, somebody looked at you as a child and said, okay, we need to let people know ahead of time. That,
Godfrey is his first name.
uh-huh.
So much
His
better.
last name is Ablewhite.
Oh, you looked it up? Where's she going?
She's
No.
asleep.
Oh, she's under there.
She's on the shelf.
Elf on the shelf?
Mm-hmm. She definitely could be elf on the shelf with those ears.
I feel so much better now that I've tinkled.
She just went on the paper.
I could've.
This commercial break has been brought to you by us.
That's right.
Tinkles.
Okay. So the lawyer's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's very interesting how they see women in this book
Speak of it.
and how they see the Varander ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, when he's talking about her husband dying,
Yes.
I love that conversation where he's like, the guy refuses to do his will, then he gets sick, he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. So he finally calls his lawyer, yeah, I wanna do my will. The lawyer's like, all right, I got out like 800 pages here, we're gonna write this down. I leave everything to my wife. And then he rolls back over to go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's like, oh, whoa, wait, don't you wanna
Well, no. At first he's like, do you mean to tell me you leave all of your monetary and landly
Landly
possessions to your wife? And he goes, yes, I said the same thing but shorter. Why can't you say it shorter?
Yeah, it's like
He's like,
that.
I just want to go back to my sister. I was like, yeah, that's true.
It's like yeah, like I like that mentality. The guy's like, dude,
Yeah,
I
that's
said the
literally
same
what
shit.
everything means.
I'm going back to sleep. And then he's like, he thought about it and he's like, you know what? That's okay. Cause he knew Lady Verinder. He's like, and as he put it, the fair sex, maybe, what is it, like 1 in 100
Something like that.
Is
I think that
able-
was
is
his
able-
stat, he said.
is able to like properly deal with monetary things. And he's like, And Lady Verinder is that 1 in 100. And it's like, damn, they really didn't think shit of women.
No, they didn't.
I
still don't.
wonder. Yeah, I wonder
Not us.
what it's like when you
You know.
compare it to today.
I mean, you handle all this stuff. You put all the wires together, so
Yeah, you
we
right.
trust you.
You right. But I do wonder, like, when you
But that's the
think
one that's
about women who are up for the task of inheriting an estate and inheriting, a large sum of money and money management and all of that, like, I can understand the idea that, like, there are those people who are up for a task of that nature, up for that kind of situation, and like headstrong to like handle it, and then there are other people,
Or
and I do mean
we're
people
allowed to learn
right
to do it.
right, like that's the other thing, like what resources were available to women and men at that time. Men, it was just considered a natural thing. They learned how to handle their money and their estate, and women didn't really have a place in that, but
Well, some. A lot
obviously
of men
Lady
were.
Verinder is the exception.
No, I mean, a lot of men were not good with money.
Right.
Not-
But
not
even
good with
today,
money.
like when I think about even today, how many books, like self-help books, and how many tools and resources there are for people to help them learn how to budget and manage their money, and like of 100% people, I wonder how many actually bother to like teach themselves better money management systems or things of that nature. Like I feel like even today the stats are probably not that much better. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. They don't have a savings for the future. They don't think about investing. They don't think about any of that stuff. They're just like, how do I survive? Very minimalistic, you know?
No, I agree, but I would think it's mostly because it kind of falls into two categories. Either you don't think of yourself as able,
Right.
or you Now I forgot about the other one. You either don't think of yourself as able, or you don't think of it as important, or like
Right.
you know what I mean. Like either you think, oh, somebody will handle that,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm gonna die way before that. Even like I don't have enough to like a lot of people think I don't have enough for it to make a difference.
Right.
And it's like the fact that you think that is why you don't have enough.
Exactly. Like I was having a discussion with my dad, and
Mhm.
I was telling him about the things that I'd been learning, because I've spent a lot of time. I've spent the past like 2 or 3 months like really just like diving in on the deep end, learning all that stuff, so that I can make things make sense. Sense. But I was talking to him, and he's like, oh, that, but like I was telling him about how like savings and 401ks and stuff like that, and he's like, oh, but that's for people who have money. I don't have money. And I was like, but that's the whole point. You don't have money
The thing
because
is, you do.
you do, right?
Yeah.
You just have to like learn how to properly budget,
Yeah.
and then you can have money
Yeah.
to save. But if you don't know where your money's going, then
Yeah.
that's a thing. But that took me like having initiative.
Yeah.
Even with today, where resources are abundant and available, and to anyone at any education level, any minority, like all you have to do is Google that shit. Audiobooks or whatever, libraries have a whole like section.
Yep.
How many people go there? You know what I mean? So that makes me, I don't know. That's just a thing that.
I mean, a lot of people do, boy. That's a lot of people who make money based on books and stuff. Make money on people asking about money.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like,
It's like
I learned how to do it. Now I'm gonna teach you how to do it,
yeah.
and that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
But
or unless you're like one of those crazy people who decide they're gonna believe the guy who has all the chicks on a boat, and it's like, yeah, you want a boat full of chicks too? Just do what I do, and then first buy this book, second buy these, like back in the 80s when it was like tapes. Buy these tapes, listen to these tapes. I'm gonna tell you how to get a boat full of chicks. And just like
Godfrey made a book.
That sounds about right.
There used to be like a whole bunch of like these like telemarketers and stuff, like not telemarketers, but like
the
like
equivalent.
like on TV and stuff. It's like like
Or they'll have a seminar.
seminars and stuff.
Come to my seminar and I'll teach you how to
Yeah.
Right.
Now
for the low payment of.
Now we hear about those seminars. It's about flipping houses.
For
We're all
50
flipping
easy
houses.
payments
Yeah.
of $199.
See, what you do is you buy a house with other people's money, right? Because other people just give away money so you can buy houses.
Yeah.
You fix the house and make it better than it was in really bad neighborhoods, and then you sell it for a lot of money.
Right, and you never give that person back their money.
You never give them back their money. It's like, okay, maybe you should just save a couple dollars every once in a while. Maybe back up on, maybe stop buying all the lottery tickets. Maybe,
What lottery tickets? How do you think I'm gonna get rich?
It's,
With the lottery tickets? Hello?
I don't know if you know about math, but
Just saying.
not math. MAF.
Math.
If you know anything about math, you know you ain't gonna win the lottery.
Because you pessimistic. My glass is always half full, okay?
Only half full because you can't afford the rest of your drink because you don't know about math.
Because I spend it on a lottery
That's
ticket that's
right.
going to make me rich.
That's right. You
All
can
right.
fill up that cup if you knew about math.
No, because money's expensive.
So
Back to the
right,
Back
right.
to podcast.
So yeah, so he's like, but and then he's like, she proved him right,
Right.
by making proper decisions
Yes.
for the estate and for her daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and then then it all went to shit.
Mm-hmm. What you mean?
Then it's like, what's this Godfrey guy doing?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you married him? Oh wait, now I got some information. Oh, he just wants your money.
Right.
And it's funny because they put in very specific stipulations into the will.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, she'll get the money, but you can't sell none of her land, and you can't take any of the money out. You'll get it in little increments, just so you can live a good life. But if you, let's say, some deadbeat asshole who has a bunch of debts,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you shit out of luck. And
But that's the way it should
But
be.
he didn't know about that when he engaged her, right?
correct.
And that's why
Then he found out about the will. Then it's like, oh, I don't want to marry you. Okay.
Yeah.
Woo! Dodge that bullet.
Yeah.
If you don't ask questions, you don't deserve to know answers.
Would he have known if he'd asked at that moment? Because could you
Well,
imagine when I want to
she-
marry you, what's your will?
She didn't know crap about the will.
Mm-hmm. Right, that's the thing. Like, she didn't know.
That's
so.
why he
But
said
he should
someone.
ask her, but he should ask. There's people you could ask.
Who did he find out from? How did he find out?
He just sent a lawyer. He sent a lawyer in secret.
But that was
'Cause-
after the
Right.
proposal?
Correct.
That's rude.
Because he
That's
was
like prenups and stuff like that.
right. He was just looking for that extra money.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to ask her lawyer because again he knows how bad Dad looked.
Right.
So he sent his own lawyer, thinking like, oh, legal counsel, they ain't gonna tell nobody because it says they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Little did he know that the guy he engaged
Right.
owed some favors. So he's like, yeah, no, do right. See that dude right there? He sent me. Oh, you need a picture here? Yeah. Yo, Godfrey, come here.
Let me just snap your face.
You should have found somebody like the detective who already knew, he knew his business was partially, not only am I looking for the things you want me to look for, this in this case the Moonstone, but also in other cases that you just want me to keep your secrets.
Right.
So like if I know something went down here, but I don't have to make it, I don't have to make it hot
Mm-hmm.
to solve the case.
So then, there was two portions of these two stories that I really enjoyed.
Oh, what are they?
So one is when the father comes to confront everybody
Mhm.
about the engagement being broken off.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Because that was intense. And the way it ended, I didn't expect. Because, he's getting angrier and angrier.
Right.
And eventually you
He's
find
so
out.
rude.
Eventually you find out the reason he's getting angry is because he was a poor guy who became rich, married into his family, but he always felt the type of way. He always felt like, oh, these people are judging me.
Right.
They
That's that
think
kind
they're
of like
better than me.
yeah.
So when she breaks it off, he assumes it's because, oh, she thinks she's better than my son.
Mm-hmm. Because she knows that we used to be poor.
And he's
Other
being
words, his money used to be ugly.
right.
Yeah.
So he starts getting heated and angry. And honestly, I didn't expect Miss Clack to get up, but that's where I have to give her credit.
Right. 'Cause she actually stood up, even though he was what temperature was his head by that point? Purple.
Purple, right. Where a lot of times, like, this is where, like, I get, like, kind of iffy with the extremist religious people.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are out there that they want to preach, but they don't follow what they preach.
Mhm.
She clearly follows it.
Mm-hmm.
You mean religious people can be hypocritical?
Some.
I've never heard that before.
But she got up. She's like, well, sir. And, like, she even said it, like, everyone turned around like, what?
Yeah. You still here?
And, like, at one point, like, she, like, throws the thing at him.
Yeah, she throws
and
the
he
jack at him.
rips it throws it back. I'm like, oh man, this is getting intense.
I would love to see that in a real movie.
It's
You
like
can see that in real life.
At that scene. Not real life. At that scene.
You can see that scene in real life.
so that moment for me, that was great.
In a movie.
You live in the Bronx. You go not too far near like where there's a lot of churches in the area.
All I have to do is take a train.
That's what I'm saying. You gonna hear some preaching on the train. They gonna throw a track at you.
Yeah.
And somebody gonna throw it back, and that person's gonna go off. I have seen it several times.
So there was that moment, and then the lawyer and what everyone's suspecting is the chief of the Indians.
Yeah.
Because the way he described how polite,
Yes.
how absolutely perfect this guy was, and he couldn't figure out what he was doing, and then when he gets the explanation, he's like, "Oh damn that."
About the word thing.
He's like, not only was that guy like perfect, like he got information from me in a way that I never suspected, and I was like, damn, that was good.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that when he described the slimy guy, because usually when they describe brown people,
yes,
it's always like they're the lower being.
yes.
But when he get the pawnbroker slimy guy, he's like this inferior man to the Indian. I'm like, yeah, all right, fuck that slimy. Because he's like, this guy has like, he speaks wrong. He sounds weaselly. He's like, well, the Indian guy was, very polite, got to the point, and I love that he's like, and the Indian guy did the one thing that not even any of his countrymen will do. He respected my time.
Yeah.
The moment he said, no, I can give you the money. Well, I thank you for your time. I am now leaving. One question. And that was the only question that actually mattered.
Yeah. Also, sidebar, props to the narrator, I think, on this. If you decide that you want to listen to this book, we're doing the audio book. There's only one version for this, the Moonstone. I found the narrator to be really, really good. He's done the accents very well. He narrated Miss Clack very well, and
Yes.
like the emoting behind her, like never ending, like how she just cannot be insulted by anyone's behavior, and the whole way that she carries herself, and then like the whimsical manner of like the first narrator. I've been to like I think if we had a narrator like this for Moby Dick, it would have been a lot different of an experience. Going through the Moby Dick story.
Matter. Yeah. Narrators definitely matter.
And so this narrator has been really good.
Narrators matter.
Hashtag narrators for life.
Yeah. He's definitely get a 5-star from me on performance.
Yeah, no, he's been really, really good. I've been enjoying him so far. Even the way that he narrated for the lawyer Bruff. Just good. Just really, really good. So that's been an enjoyable part of the book too. Yep. I really liked that part with the Indian and the whole conversation. It was interesting to see that they like came out of jail and that whole storyline for them, because we get to see like a little bit of what they've been up to this whole time. It's been cool.
Yep.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really Miss Cockstar the show. That whole like relentless pursuit of thing, and then that scene at the end of her narration where she has the balls to tell that young Verinder that her mother passed away basically in sin because she couldn't save her, and so she died without like, what would it have taken to save her? Reading those scriptures? Is that what it would have taken? Like,
no.
What does she expect?
It's pretty much lifelong. It's like if she wasn't doing it for herself, she wasn't gonna have it.
But the whole way that she made it seem was like, I still have time to quote unquote like save her. She came through with all these books, and then when the books didn't work, she would handread all these passages, and the passages didn't work.
I think the point she was trying to make to the young Miss Verinder at that point, because remember at that point the lawyer has stepped in because the elder Abel White has basically told her, get the fuck out of my house.
Right. And that was after thanks to her, thanks to Cluck stepping up and opening her mouth and pissing him off even more with her fanatical chatter.
He's like, you need to go. He's like, you don't need to go to a home
You
or
ain't
something.
gotta go home.
You
but
just
you
gotta
gotta
get
get the fuck up out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is always one of my favorite sayings.
So
Because it's very specific.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know where you're going to go.
Right.
But you can't stay here.
Yeah.
so the lawyer steps in. He's like, I didn't want to say anything because dude was already turning purple,
Mhm.
and I didn't want to make him angrier.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw this shit coming, so I had her write into the will that if douchebag decides he no longer wants to be your caretaker, we can choose a new caretaker for you, and I'm offering my services.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Miss Clack jumps in like, "Whoa, he's not family."
Well,
blah blah blah.
Lady
blah.
Young Varinder immediately says yes.
Yeah, she immediately says yes.
And then Miss Clark jumps in and is like, whoa, 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 no, I'm your family. You should come live with me.
Right, and
Which
I
I'm
think,
sure comes with a fee.
Oh, yeah.
and I think the point
conversion fee.
she was trying to make at that point, where she brings up the mother,
Mm-hmm.
she's still in her mind. She feels that she failed with the mother. She couldn't save the mother, but the daughter is still here.
Yep.
She can still influence her. Like she talks about, she's like,
No, I know.
oh, now she sees me as a friend. I can influence her to make her a better person.
That's right.
And she
Walk.
kind of puts it out there. She's like, I couldn't do this for your mother,
Mm-hmm.
and she died in sin,
That's
Right.
right.
but I can still do it for you.
Right.
And in her mind,
Mm-hmm.
that was a good thing to say.
Yep.
Right. Because
she-
that's
she's-
what she really believes.
That's what she believes, and she's stating like, as horrible it might sound to many of us outside,
Mhm.
she's stating a truth to herself.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it may sound weird, but from her, it's coming from a good place.
Yeah. I get that. But the lack of
Empathy.
or tact, even just in general, like if your goal in the bigger picture is to save this young lady by converting her to your flock, quote unquote, then you don't want to do things to alienate her. And the smarter play at that moment would have been, okay, I lost this moment, she's gonna live with her, but if I visit often enough, I show support, maybe I can still change this. But by throwing it out there, like, especially when it's like, what, days after her mom passed away? And you're going to be like, yeah, your mom died in sin, and you don't want to be that guy. That's like, no, ma'am, that's not the right way to approach this situation. But
I have to disagree on
What?
this on a small level because, like you said, from her perspective, she's doing an altruistic thing. She's trying
Right.
to save her niece's life,
Mhm.
her soul, her
Right.
mortal soul, where she failed to save her sister's soul, in so much as that she had the ability to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you think you've already failed in saving someone else's soul,
Mm-hmm.
the best thing you can do is start working on the next person right away. It's like,
Right.
oh, you've chosen to go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's on you.
Right.
You still have a daughter
Mhm.
who I love, who I care for. So I'm gonna save her.
Right.
And especially now that you're in hell, you can't save her.
Right.
So I'm gonna save her.
Right.
Yeah, I still got time to work on her. So what you need to do is stop being, all sinny and stuff,
Oh, shit.
and come live with me,
Uh-huh.
and let's work on this soul of yours.
No.
'Cause,
So
you
much
know.
work. To church twice a day is too much. My headache. I
Who
have
said
a
twice a day?
headache.
Who said twice a day?
Too
Who
much.
said twice a day?
Too much.
No, she did say it
She
twice.
said
Twice
twice
a
a
day.
day?
She tried to get her to go a second time, and
That's right.
and then
did
she was
say
like,
that.
I have a headache.
No.
And then she took the walk with the lawyer, which
You're
is when he
right.
told her about
Mhm.
Mr. Godfrey's
Yes,
adventures.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
I don't think it would go twice a day.
All right, so Dennis.
What?
What did you think of the book? Because last episode, you were still.
No, it's
trying-
gotten better.
You've been
It's
warming
definitely
up.
gotten better.
Yeah.
It's gotten better.
Okay, so tell me, because this has been mostly him and I talking.
So the tea was a little weak the last time we read.
Yeah.
It's gotten stronger.
Okay.
It's gotten stronger. It's sweet now.
Yeah. Any favorite parts?
I like the drama
Yeah.
of it.
It's very mild level of like Downton Abbey.
Yes,
It's
I
just
like the
very very mild
I
level
like the
of
upstairs
Downton Abbey.
downstairs
Yeah.
stuff. You got it's just compelling,
Yeah.
compelling
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I like the dead girl.
Mm-hmm.
You can always
What
get
about it that fascinates you?
the quicksand for one.
Oh, the
Of,
shivering
of all the
sands?
ways you would kill yourself,
Mhm.
possibly, since
Possibly.
we're in this habeas corpus type house.
That's right.
The idea that you would sink yourself into the sands
Mhm.
to be buried here forever, and
Does quicksand preserve? No, right?
I don't. It
It's
doesn't.
still
Does quicksand
oxygen.
exist? Is the question.
I definitely
Yes,
believe it
it
exists.
exists.
Does it exist?
Yeah.
Where? Not that I expect. I expect
My
G.
mind.
I don't expect like a
we could look at.
geolocation or anything.
We could look it up.
But like, I've pretty much gone back and forth with quicksand from my childhood. I very much thought there was a possibility that quicksand was a thing,
Mhm.
even though my reference was fictional things,
Right.
cartoons.
What was the first
Wile E.
reference?
Coyote?
Yes.
Was it Wile E. Coyote? I think my first iteration with quicksand might have been. Wasn't there quicksand in Aladdin?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Anywhere
that's the
it was
first time I
sandy,
come
there was
across it.
quicksand.
Yeah.
So I've gone from thinking there is quicksand
Mhm.
and I should be careful.
Mhm. Everywhere. There's quicksand everywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
I can run into it anywhere.
Right.
I better keep a rope on,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
At all times.
Yes. Be able to make a lasso and throw it around a tree so I can save myself. Be able to pull myself out of the quicksand.
Mhm.
And then there's this idea that's like, oh, there is no quicksand.
Mhm.
I'm relieved.
Okay.
And now.
Was this a decision you came to? Or
Yes,
did
it's
it
like
come-
there is no. I've been living so many years, 20 some odd years. I have not encountered any quicksand on this very vast blue marble I live on. So there is no quicksand.
Okay. Fair. Are you googling it?
Yes. First, I just typed in "is quicksand real?" And the first thing that I get is an article called "Is Quicksand Real?" It is, and how to spot it. And it starts off by telling you a story of.
Before we go any further, is this on the Onion?
No, it's actually NBC News.
Oh,
Okay,
marginally better.
Fake
It's all fake news.
So, in Utah, in the Zion National Park, there's areas where there's
I'm
quicksand.
not going to Utah.
Yeah, well, then
So
you're good.
that's where the Mormons come from.
Yeah, exactly. Why I'm not going to Utah.
I wonder if Mormons created quicksand to hide the bodies of the women they didn't want anymore.
Wow.
Sorry.
Damn.
That one was real deep. Deeper than the quicksand. Wow.
Sorry, this shit just
Wow.
happens in my brain.
Mitt Romney's gonna sue us.
Yeah, I'm
now.
going to go wash my hands.
Damn, my bad. I'll cut that out.
It's on the video.
All
You
right,
don't
fine.
edit the video.
Right.
Well, we know who didn't say it.
Damn it.
It wasn't Esteban. He's too pretty to say anything like that.
Damn right.
It wasn't me.
Yes, I'm looking for my notes.
I'm just saying, only one of us defamed the Mormon Church. Only one of us. Who that might be, I'm not sure.
Why do you guys hate me? I feel like you're like banding up against me.
Not
Y'all
at
are
all.
Jerks.
We're just indemnifying ourselves against the Mormon Church's
Y'all are
lawsuit.
jerks.
Anyway,
I'm
I didn't
fucking
think
fine.
I didn't think quicksand was real. Now I'm still not sure because fake news. And
Facts.
I enjoyed the idea that she might have had something to do with the stealing of the Moonstone. And
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
What? I said the idea.
Sergeant Cuff has already made it very clear
Yes.
that the Moonstone is lost, not stolen.
No. He said
He said it's lost.
he didn't know it was lost. He said he hasn't made any decision as to it being stolen or if it was lost. Right now, it's lost because I haven't decided that someone's stolen it.
Correct.
It's
So-
innocent until proven guilty,
So,
kind of thing.
so don't use that word stolen.
I will use the word stolen because it's appropriate. I didn't say she stole it.
It was misplaced.
I will say that in the misplacing
There you go.
of the Moonstone that she was culpable.
Fine, I guess.
All right. So much so that between that and the fact that she was ugly and this man did not love her.
The fat jolly man.
That's right.
That's
She
fat
decided
jolly, man.
to go kill herself.
And limping Lucy.
And the only person who
Oh, that's right. There's also a limping girl.
the only other person who thought she was worthy of living any longer was another disabled lady,
Yes.
also known as Limping Lucy.
Yes.
Yes. So somehow these two cripples got together and they were going to live as sisters in London
Mm-hmm.
off their
So-
needles.
Sewing things, yes.
Sewing things and typing.
That's right. Because what else can you do if you're ugly?
I
Besides,
appreciate
So-
the attachment. Like I appreciate that Lucy came by and was like, we had made plans, and I was gonna take her away from here, and I was gonna help her figure out like her life in
well,
London.
you know,
I thought that was nice.
it
Like,
was nice.
having someone.
But we know why it didn't happen.
Why?
Because Lucy limps, so she couldn't do it quickly.
No, honestly, like
Go on, look all the
thinking
way to
about
London.
having someone who's like devoted to
A
you
true
that
friend.
way, like a true
Yes.
friend like that. That's like, listen, let's just get out of here. We can make a life for ourselves, and like really truly friends like that. I think that was really really nice. And so
I have
her,
friends like that. We have a podcast.
yay!
It's about wires.
Wires.
She plugs them in.
And then I
we
unplug
talk
them later.
Yep. They feed me and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff too.
What was that other guy's name? Damn it!
Ooh.
The white guy who likes to go to India.
Huh? Who?
The Indian white guy?
No,
That
the
travels
traveler, yeah.
through time and space. Sorry.
Because he's the one who unravels what the Indian was doing at the lawyer's
I
office.
didn't get. So I remember getting to that part and hearing him talk, and I vaguely remember what he was saying, but at that time I was doing something else. I think I might have been doing something for work, and I don't remember that clearly. What he said or how he unpacked it.
Well, he asked him to recount exactly what the Indians said,
Mm-hmm.
and sorry, commercial.
I believe in you. You've got this.
That's more PSA.
I mean,
Mirthwaite,
oh yeah.
Mr. Mirthwaite.
I don't
So
like these people's names.
So the guy goes and he finds him there and he's like, yeah, so one of them visited me and he was super polite. He tried to borrow money. It turns out that he went to the pawn dealer and everything went almost exactly the same, even the final question. And this is where
That's right, because that's when when the two people get beat up in their rooms, right? And then at one point
where
he's
they
like,
get kidnapped.
yeah, and he's like, "What do you mean? I was only strangled. I was only beat up. It could have been so much worse." When they're talking about it after the fact.
So he's telling the guy, and he's like, and then he asked me this one question and left. He's like, I don't get it. And Murphy's like, how could you not get it? He's like, I fully understand. And he breaks down everything the Indians have done up until that point.
Including something that has to do with the little kid.
Right, the visits. I like how when he mentions the little kid, he's like they do it as a romanticism.
Mm-hmm.
He's like they themselves, he's like, in his opinion, don't really believe it. But if they get this magical thing that says the thing they already know, it reinforces them to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of sat there, I was like, that actually makes sense in a lot of ways. Like, a lot of people do need that extra motivation to do a thing.
Right.
Even though they know they're going the right way, but they need that extra little...
Mm-hmm.
And
Because there's doubt. There's usually doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool.
Especially if it's from like something you worship or believe in, or a deity of some form. Like if you feel like a spirit is telling you like you got this, you're on the right path, that's like super important.
So I like that little bit of it. But then as he's explaining all the bits, so he's like, why didn't the Indians just break into the house? And the guy's like, I don't know why. And then he explains his understanding of their culture. He's like, they don't take unnecessary risk.
Nope.
He's like, they knew the exact date that the diamond should be given to a girl. Now you can break into a house and attack a man, or you can go on the exact date of her birthday and get it from the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, that makes sense. He's like, of course, the mistake they made is being seen by Bettridge. So what happens when this happens? Bettridge lets the dogs loose. You ain't messing with giant mastiffs in the middle of the night.
Were they mastiffs?
Yes.
Ooh,
2
Okay.
mastiffs.
so
Them
big.
is big ass dogs.
Good big dogs. I like big dogs.
And like he breaks down every step, and he's like, and he finally gets to the point like, why would you go to a pawnbroker? He's like, well, you need money, so you turn this thing over. Okay. And then what did he ask you? He's like, oh, this is a weird ass question. Like, what's the soonest you could... So he wanted to know when the guy was going to go back to the pawnbroker. And he's like, bam! He's like, I guarantee you, a year from that date, you're going to hear about the Moonstone again. And I was like, for even myself, I read it, and I was like, that's a weird-ass fucking question. Then when he says it, I was like, oh, that's a good... Damn, these Indians are good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's a fun element of the story.
Yeah.
It's like a little, like, extra thing, almost. It's cool.
Like a subplot.
Yeah, almost.
And I like how Murphy's like, well, but I'm going to be in India again, so...
It's also, yeah, I also appreciate the little bit of color it gives to the whole story in general, because you're... Yeah, pun intended, because you have, like, all of these, like, London-esque kind of people and cultures and stuff, and then you've got this one element of Indian culture and all the things that come with it, and it's very much a reason into their motives and who they are and why they do what they do.
Yes.
So you can't discredit where they come from. So it's like a nice little extra thing in there. Yeah, it's cool.
I also really like the way Murphy always talks about the Indians. He's like, they will take your life in a second.
Yes.
But do not for a second disbelieve that they're not a great people.
Right. Well, he's the one that
he travels over there. He
was the one in the beginning that mentioned that they had basically had to denounce their people in order to come here in the first place. Yeah.
So he I appreciate he has that appreciation for them.
Yes.
And he also has that respect.
Right.
Yeah.
Where he's he tells the guy like, if you were twiddling the stone in your hand, that guy would not have been polite. He would have chopped your head off and then left with the stone. Like, well, that was easy. Luckily, he's like, luckily you didn't have that stone. So he went about it in the most civilized and polite way he possibly could have. Way more polite than as the other Englishmen you deal with on a daily basis.
Does anyone else have anything they want to talk about?
I'm excited for the next narrator.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's Franklin Blake.
Which one's that one?
The one that Bettridge always describes as sometimes he's an Italian.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm curious to see what
he's the one who brought the stone, right?
Right. I want to see how his thinking works. Like, does he actually go like, I was in an Italian frame of mind, and then it's
we will see. I'm looking forward. I'm also looking to see like how this whole thing ties up together. I'm looking forward to.
Best part of the book is the end.
Seeing everything come together and all these weird little pieces.
Right. I really hope Cuff does come back.
Yep.
I wonder if the girl's dead.
She's dead.
DED?
She is dead. Her ugly ass is, I'm just saying.
And
you know what?
I wonder if young Verinder had anything to do with it.
Here's what I believe.
Please tell me.
I believe this is gonna be some usual suspect shit.
Oh yeah, somebody's like.
Oh, you think Lucy is actually the other
right?
ugly girl?
Lucy is actually. That'd be fucked up.
That's right. It's like, oh, we never noticed these two ugly bitches were never in the same room at the same time. They was the same ugly bitch.
And they're both young lady Verinder.
That's
Who's
right.
just like dressed in disguise.
Right.
I give up. Y'all are terrible. So, if we're good, then we're good. We're gonna close it up. Your job, as you continue listening to the rest of the book, is to figure out your fan casting.
Okay.
So when we come back, we've got some. I really want some ridiculous fan casting this time because we've been a little slack on it. So I want to have some really funny characters. Try to think outside the box.
Okay.
Okay, and then for you lovely, amazing, wonderful human listeners out there, thank you so much for always coming back to listen to our podcast episodes. I'm finding a rhythm with editing, and I have some episodes are edited, and hopefully we'll get back onto a track where we have a regular uploading cadence again.
Yes.
Because it's been a little crazy for me. So thank you for your patience.
And a question for you, for the listeners: would you prefer if we just didn't edit the video or the audio and just left it raw?
No, because the unedited.
I'm not asking
ones,
you. I'm asking them.
I'm telling you, the
I'm
unedited ones are over an hour and a half to 2 hours long. I edited them down to an hour, which is
some people
digestible for most.
The way.
And then
talk
that's
about
the
books.
YouTube videos. They have
That's
it for
right.
that.
That's what I'm saying. So like
if you like
it's
the unedited, you can watch the YouTube videos.
All right. Because the lady has a lot of work to do. She's not ugly, but she has a lot of work to do.
Thanks.
And, she could use that time to be doing other things.
No, I don't. It's fine.
She has a walrus she takes care of. And, it takes a lot of time.
DJ.
DJ Notoka?
Yeah, that's her name. DJ Notoka.
I have a DJ name. I have DJ Notoka. Which means don't touch.
That's right.
Notoka, don't touch.
That's right.
No, what's your name? What's your DJ Cabeciduro?
What is that?
Hard-headed. Cabeciduro, yeah, it's hard-headed. Okay.
It's DJ Morsa.
Morsa, yeah. What's that mean?
Walrus is Spanish.
Oh, yeah, you
Ah.
did. And I'm DJ Notoka.
Yes.
Okay.
And can I explain the walrus thing first? Everybody thinks it's because Esteban has ample portions, and that's not why. That is not why. It is because his handshakes are very much like shaking the hand of a flipper. Like if you were shaking a flipper instead of a hand, it just feels that way. So it just he grabs it and it's like, why does this feel like fishy almost? It's like warm and like fishy. And
Warm and fishy?
Yeah, like it's like fishy. So it's like if you were think about if you were to grab like a seal or some sort of cetacean's flipper.
Citation.
It's cetacean. We read a lot of books. If you
What's
if you
wrong
watch,
with your hands?
it's nothing wrong with them. It's just like it's kind of narrow at one point and very wide in the middle, and then it's like
Yeah,
grabs
that's
it,
true.
and it's just like
His fingers are very narrow.
yes, he's got very narrow fingers, but his palm is very wide, and it feels like he would make like large thrusts with them, and he would be able to swim very fast. It has nothing to do with his size. Never would I make fun of a man because he's fat or chubby
Fat?
or anything.
Chubby?
Yeah, I don't think of him that way. He's my friend. I would never say that about him.
So he gets the pass?
But I would compare him to a walrus because of his hands.
Okay.
Because that's just true.
He's not even paying attention anymore.
No. He's looking up some other weird name.
Episode 13.
Yeah.
Lucky
I know
number
that.
13?
Well, that was the last episode that went up today.
Oh, okay.
Episode today,
That's right.
13. War of the Worlds Part 2 went up today.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you get this, the Moby Dick series should be out.
Yes.
And then the first part of this book. So
Hey.
this will be episode 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Hopefully this is like episode 18.
Yeah. So
Which means we're almost above the 20s.
we're almost into
Mm-hmm.
like larger numbers.
Yes, it's exciting.
Like we're almost on our 20. We're almost our podcast is almost legal. We could almost drink at this
Almost
podcast.
legal. If you have suggestions or questions, hit us up.
That's
You
right.
can find us on Twitter,
Future books.
Twitter, Instagram, at Old Books Podcast. You can email us if you want. You can reach out directly via email. It's suggestions@oldbookspodcast.com. I'm one of your hosts, Ariana, and
That's right.
over there in the corner, DJ Walrus
That's right.
is Esteban, and then Dennis,
I'm Dennis.
DJ Cabeza Duro.
Cabeza Doodle. This is so weird for me, but I'll take it.
We're gonna sign off now.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. If you want to support the podcast, you can reach out to us, connect with us on social media. You can pause this podcast and send it to someone that likes detective stories
Yes,
or
use your
books
share
in
button.
general.
Use your share button.
Use the share button, even if it's just to retweet it and no particular person in general.
Yes.
That would be super helpful. And then let us know what you think.
Yes.
We're also
Only
on YouTube.
good comments.
YouTube, you can find
Constructive
unedited,
things.
full YouTube videos of us chatting.
Subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe to the channel, Old Books Podcast on
Yes.
YouTube. All right, we out.
No, wait. One more thing. We might be doing Robinson Crusoe next.
Yes.
Well, we have to find out if it's available on
Yes.
on
Mhm.
Audible.
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody got time to be looking
Yeah.
for books.
I can't. Yeah.
This is all digital.
Mhm.
We digital here.
Well, that's just our that's
That's
our
our
preferred
method.
method
That's why
of,
we do
of consuming books
That's right.
because it lets us do it faster than we would if we were reading.
Yes. Anyone got time to be, touching
nobody got time for
physical
that.
pages with our hands
So much
and
work.
turning pages,
I
especially
have-
not now.
I prefer to save reading physical books for before bed.
That's right.
And they're usually not fiction books because I don't ever fall asleep. I'll be too busy reading.
That's right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Laters.
Bye. One more time. Bye.
That last piece was 42 minutes. The one before that was up over 30-ish minutes.
Oh, so we just went over a little bit over an hour.
Yeah,
Stop the video.
okay.
Ahsoka,
I'm tired.
wake
I'm
up.
sleepy.
Ahsoka, wake up.
Don't wake her up. She's pasty. She's gonna chew on the cables.
I was checking to see if we got any update from the book expo.
Oh, we forgot to mention that we had even.
Yeah, did they
applied
send
for
us
that.
our press passes?
Trespasses?
Still waiting to hear.
That's right.
I'm hoping with us putting up a new episode today, maybe they'll go, ooh, they're active.
That's right. We are.
But they said, it says it can take them up to 21 days to decide.
Oh.
That's okay. Sleepy. It is 11:18. I'm sleepy.
Silky.